Guten Tag, mein Damen und Herren, Mr. Pess here back with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. And today we're bringing a kit reveal of Canderous Ordo, the first dark side Knights of the Old Republic character to be brought to the game, and he excels at defeating enemy tanks, punishes enemies who taunt, and inflicts debuffs and damage over time. So he has some synergies, obviously, with other characters that inflict damage over time, and we'll dig a little bit into his kit here. But first, I want to talk about the fact that we're getting some dark side Knights of the Old Republic characters, so this is due for some speculation this week, so we'll definitely be talking about that. His basic Interminable Assault deals physical damage and attacks again. If the enemy had any protection before this attack, Canderous attacks for a third time and inflicts tenacity down for 2 turns. If you're going to be attacking enemies who are constantly regenerating protection, that means that he's going to be attacking 3 times almost every single time, because it means any protection. So even if it's just a tiny bit, it matters. His first unique Mandalorian veteran, at the start of each battle, Canderous gains 10% health steal and potency for each Old Republic and Scoundrel ally. Whenever Canderous deals damage to an enemy, inflicts damage over time effect for 2 turns. This is very important to keep in mind because his base potency is 0%, so that tenacity down on his basic gonna be important. He also has 122 base speed, so that's not really crazy, and his base offense isn't real crazy either, so you're gonna want to put an offense set on him probably. His second unique, I like a challenge. Canderous deals 50% more damage with Interminable Assault and Overwhelming Firepower, a special we'll talk about in a sec, to enemies who are taunting, death-marked, or marked. Whenever an enemy with a damage over time effect is damaged by an attack, Canderous gains 8% turn meter. When an enemy gains taunt or becomes death-marked or marked, Canderous gains crit chance up and crit damage up for 2 turns. This is going to be important where you have make it important to have at least one other character probably on your team that will inflict damage over time. His other special attack that we mentioned there, Overwhelming Firepower, deals physical damage to all enemies and inflicts offense down for 2 turns. This attack ignores defense. So, Canderous Ordo, basic theory and method of use here is to make sure that you're getting tenacity down on all of your enemies, or at least grouping him with other allies who are capable of sticking those damage over time effects, because damage over time is going to be the key to overcoming his mediocre base speed by giving him extra turn meter every time an enemy with damage over time takes damage, and then also making sure that you're actually sticking those negative status effects to begin with. So his basic inflicting tenacity down is great for that. As it mentions in the synergy, you're going to want to group him with, Vader makes for a good leader, but he is a scoundrel, so you might want to end up actually putting him under a Kira lead, because his crit chance is also kind of mediocre, and this guy is going to be gaining crit chance and crit damage up whenever an enemy gains taunt. So increasing his crit chance with a Kira lead is actually going to be pretty good, because you want those triple taps to be hitting as hard as possible. At some points in this gameplay, his basic is hitting for around 17,000 to 20,000 damage per hit. So doing 60,000 damage with a basic attack as well as inflicting damage over time is pretty stinking good. The reason that you run a Vader lead, obviously, is to be able to stack those damage over times. They just keep stacking up, especially on a team like this one where you have Zalbar and Mission constantly inflicting damage over time. But on the grand scheme of things, there are going to be better options. Like I said, Kira lead. Scoundrels, you can pretty much pick your scoundrel leader there. There's not a whole lot to choose from, but you also have other scoundrel allies that you can group him with, because he gains that extra 10% health steal and potency for each Old Republic and scoundrel ally. Obviously, he's going to be getting an extra bonus there for Zalbar and Mission, because they are Old Republic and Scoundrels, the only Old Republic Scoundrels in the game. It's not clear whether he is going to gain the bonus for himself, but if it follows a pattern, then he probably will, because let's just face it, that's how this game works. They like to give people bonuses for for themselves, which, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that, because it just makes for those unique abilities to have a little bit more impact. Now let's do a little bit of speculating, shall we? If you recall his unique, I like a challenge. He deals increased damage whenever enemies are taunting, death-marked, or marked, which means that he'll do a little bit extra damage if you toss him on a team with Revan. Okay, that's cool. I like that. And then death-marked. There's currently only one character in the game capable of inflicting death-mark, and that is Death Trooper. This leads me to believe that they are anticipating or intending to include the death mark ability, or the ability to inflict death mark on a future Old Republic or future character. I would imagine that character would probably be a Scoundrel, and I would imagine that they might include that ability on a future Old Republic character, since they're including this mechanic or feature to this kit on an Old Republic character. And we only have Canderous Ordo and Bastila Fallen as far as dark side Old Republic allies go, so it leads me to believe that there might be some more dark side Old Republic allies on the horizon. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Helps me out a lot. As always, follow me on social media. Let me know in the comment section below which dark side Old Republic allies you think might be coming to the game, and I'll catch you later.